Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. Today we are going to be playing a session of Tales from the Loop. This is a new board game from Free League Publishing. Now, Free League makes another Tales from the Loop product. Sorry, just the cover here. Set that down. Called the Tales from the Loop role-playing game. And both these games are based on the artwork of Simon Stalenhag, and he does these very interesting paintings of kids in the 80s or scenes in the 80s in Sweden, but there are strange things in them. So it says role-playing in the 80s that never was. So it is set in the 80s. There are things in there from the real 80s, but then there are some non-real things such as robots walking around and magnetrine ships, which can just kind of float through the air like anti-gravity. There's big cooling towers around in this area known as the Loop. So there's, particle accelerator kind of establishment in this community, and maybe because of that, there are weird things happening here. So the robots maybe are acting a little goofy and wandering around. Some sightings of maybe a raptor, which seems weird that there would be some sort of live dinosaur roaming around. But you play as teenagers in this board game that is a little bit like a role-playing game where you don't really need a game master. Like the game kind of runs things for you. So if you've played Pandemic or Zombicide or other kind of co-op level games, you'll recognize the setup of some of the items. So you've got, some of the story cards and the scenarios that you will play, and that will automatically move you ahead and kind of keep the timer going, as it were, and bring up different challenges for you to encounter and overcome. Now, this is also like a board game version of a choose your own adventure storyline, sort of. Okay, it just has that feel. Like I said, it's much more story driven than a typical board game might be, and so that's what I like about this. Besides the artwork and the aesthetic and the setting, I like the story-driven nature of it. So let's get it going, and we'll play through the first week maybe. There's 2 weeks in the game, so that would be 12 rounds. The weekends count as just 1 day instead of 2 days. And there are a set of scenario cards. So there are cards here. You don't read them first. You just read the first one, and it tells you what to do. The setting scenario starting card tells you how to set things up, which cards you're going to use, where the robots are going to go, and which school cards you will use. So as kids in the 80s, of course, you have to go to school every day, right? You have to go get educated. You have to hang out with your friends after school. You have to be home in time for dinner, or when the streetlights come on, or whatever the rule was you had growing up. For us, it was always we had to be home when the streetlights came on. That meant time to clean up and get ready for the next day tomorrow, right? So that's the setting we are in. Interestingly, there's no death or permadeath or anything like that in the game. The kids can get injured, but they're kids, okay? We're not gonna be like killing them off or anything. And again, this is a co-op game, so it's all the kids versus the scenario or the robots or whatever it is. In this first go-around, we'll be using the Bot Amok setup, which is, there's been reports of machines behaving erratically, just walking in circles or simply disappearing into the woods. There's even been a couple dangerous incidents. So if the kids haven't won by the end of week 2, the kids lose. And it tells you the rest. And so we're gonna start with card B1 in this scenario, and it says, lately some machines have started behaving in odd ways. Mostly it's small things like walking with a limp, but last week a Parhoofer, Swedish names for these robots, the Parhoofer almost rammed Anderson's truck. There's something going on. Investigate the rumors about the oddly acting machines and the power hoofer itself. Put a machine token on the base of the power hoofer, so we're going to put a little cube on there. It will not move as long as the token remains on the base. Okay, so what we've done is we've taken the cute little power hoofer, and let's put it on the overhead cam for us here. So we will take a peek at that there, and the minis are pretty nice. Sorry, let me get situated here. The minis are pretty nice. So this is the power hoofer, and it's a little bipedal robot with one mechanical arm on it. So he's the starting robot. There is the fire guard, AMB 110 fire guard. So he is I guess a fire suppression watchdog surveillance robot. Then there are the pair of watchdogs, which are small, surveillance guard robots. So those start on specific squares according to the scenario that you're playing. So C7, A4, and E8. Okay, so there we go. And we have our kid cards. We have 2 players here. We have Veronica the Metalhead and Stefan the Jock. And if you want to see what those player cards look like, they are double layer boards, and you will insert a token here at the bottom right, depending on if you are playing 4 to 5 players or 2 to 3 players. So you'll insert that in there, and it has different values on there. So 5, 2 for this scenario. You have favor up here, which is how friendly, how well your relationship with your parents is. Maybe it's good, maybe you're in the doghouse, favor. And then you have conditions, grounded, exhausted, upset, and scared, and injured. Grounded is when you're out of favor with your parents. Exhausted, upset, and scared, and injured are the 4 conditions you can get from, kind of negative things happening in the game. And then you spend your time cubes, so there's orange cubes, and you spend those to do these various actions. And the actions we have are walk to an adjacent space, take a bus ride between bus stops, get a car ride from your parents, to get a machine ride from one of the robots. And then on the other side we have scout. We can flip a rumor card or scout a machine, a robot, investigate, trade items or anomaly cards, and hack a machine. And then at the bottom we can rest and get home for dinner. So that is the player board that we have for each player. They're the same except for the insert that goes into the bottom right of each one. So Stefan the Jock, he is tough but he's dense. And Veronica, she's quick, but she's skittish. So everyone has a pro and a con ability. And normally when we play, a normal roll will be 3 dice. And we're always looking for 6s to succeed, but your strength will give you whatever that is. So quickness is a lightning bolt symbol, and toughness is a fist symbol. That would give us 5 dice automatically by playing to our strengths. Playing to our weaknesses, we would go down to 2 dice. Now, the kids can help each other, so you can boost up the dice count when you are rolling to encounter things. But let's get started. And what we need to do to start is we've got the board set up. We also have put out this scenario card, the Satuna Spiders, and it goes on a grid space. There are grid squares, and then there are oval locations. So the grid squares are where the robots move. The oval locations are where the kids or people move. They are not necessarily connected. They can be connected if they intersect with each other. But anyway, let's just play the game so you see how it works. And I'll move that player board off of there, so if we want to show cards close up, I can put them on the overhead cam. All right, so we're gonna have to get out 4 scenarios, and I'm gonna put this over there, sorry. And so the order of play, there's a nice cheat sheet that comes with the game. So the order of play is, first you're gonna have the school phase. Actually, let's put this on the overhead cam and see how that looks. Okay, well, there's some green on there that's getting keyed out, but So the school phase, you have your preparations, you do the school day, then you do the machine actions. So that's a very quick round or turn section. And then you do the adventure phase, which is where all the main stuff happens, and then the end phase. So there's the 3 phases that we go through on the game. So at first, now I have played this a couple times, but I'm just going to read this for you. So place all the kids at Stenharmer, which is the school. So they always start at school on the weekdays, okay? And then we use the diary cards for any school phase triggers. We replenish the time cubes, the orange cubes for each player to make sure they have all 6, plus or minus any they might have for conditions and whatnot. And then we slide all existing rumor cards to the right. So the rumor cards are these 4 here, and they are locations around the town, and different ones have different rumors on the back of them. So if we choose E, location E would get a cube on there, and again, sorry for the green keying out of the card. Looks like it's transparent. And it tells you what the situation is on the back and how you can have a success or failure against that. So there's always going to be 4 on the board for you to investigate and challenge. Now we do have to figure out what's going on with the robots acting weird in town. So let's get out the rumor cards. So we're going to draw a school card. So the school card is what happens when you're at school. The kids are going to be talking, right? And so the first one is machine transport. Yep, those are reactor workers. You got a good eye for bot models, kid. Impress the driver with your knowledge to get a closer look at the machines. And there's a success and a failure option. And at the bottom of the card, there are the move icons that show you which way the robots move. And then the bottom left, there's an icon that you have to pay attention to. If you get 2 in a row, any hacked or broken robots will get over-the-air update and will reset. This tells you how many new rumor cards you're going to bring out each turn. And this tells you up here which kids are going to be involved in this rumor, okay? So that is the card. Now the first card just comes out, it just is what it is, okay? Then we're going to draw out 4 of these rumor cards. So we got E, we got F, we got J, and we've got H. So you place those down here and make sure they're all unique, and then you put a token on each point of interest. So E and F are orange, and that means they are secure locations. And then H and J are open locations. So the locations on the board with the light yellowish color around them are open locations. The secure locations have the orange circle around them, and so you have to spend 2 time cubes to go to those, and at the end of the day, you'd have to spend 2 to get back home, whereas normally you spend 1 to go in and out of a location. Okay, so that is the setup. We have the rumor card from school. We have the rumors around town. And now we have to resolve this school card. So we are going to do that. So we need to impress the driver. We need brains or a light bulb to succeed in there. There are different symbols on here. So there's, you know, heart, lightning bolts, light bulbs, fist for strength, handshake for like friendship, etc. So we have to figure out how to impress the driver with knowledge, and we don't want Stefan to do it. He's dense, so he only gets 2 to roll. Veronica gets 3, so she can roll 3, and Stefan can help by adding a dice. So we will add 4, and again, we're just looking for 6s here. So we're gonna roll these dice, and hopefully we're gonna roll a 6 to get a success. And we did not, we failed. So the driver teases you, and you're gonna become upset. So she's gonna basically lose 1 of her time cubes into her player slot condition set. And then she's got 5 to spend, 6 to spend for Stefan. Now what's cool about this game is there's no like set turn. Whereas, and again, it has a similarity to like a role-playing game. It's more story-driven, so you can bounce back and forth between characters until everybody's done, and then that ends the round. So if Stefan wants to move and convinces Veronica to go with, great, do that. If Stefan wants to go do 3 things, he can go do 3 things across the board somewhere, and Veronica can go do something else. But we have to, on this first round of the game, we just have to get things going because we need to explore the Parhofer. So the Parhofer is here, and we are here. So we're pretty close. We're basically 1.5 grid spaces away. So we can move 1 space, we can move 2 spaces and be adjacent to the Parhofer here. So if we go to the prison at location K, we can investigate the Parhofer. And let me put that cube back on there. He's not going to move until we clear that off of him. So we need to get there. And then the first scenario card is basically just says spend 2 time cubes when nearby to flip this card. So we're going to advance the story by doing that. So let's go ahead and do that. And since we don't know what's going to happen just yet, maybe we'll have Veronica go and do that. So she'll go 1, 2. Now she has become adjacent to the robot, so she has to check if there's any avoidance conditions. So if we look at the robot control cards, which are on the left side of the board in this setup here, if we look at the Parhofer, his condition says that we have a green check mark under the avoid, so that means it's all clear. He's not going to do any avoidance action or defensive moves. So we can just go up next to him and nothing's going to happen. Okay, so she is next to the Parhofer. So if she spends 2 time cubes when nearby, we can flip the first story card over and see what happens. So she spent 2 to move, and she's going to spend 2 to flip the card. So we flip it over to B1 side 2. You find the area that the Reek's energy cordoned off in shambles. The fence has been wrecked, and Parhofer tracks lead into the nearby woods. Remove the machine token from the base of the Parhofer. Okay, so we will do that. Then the Parhofer moves to E8. Sorry, where did he start? He started at F8. So, sorry, she didn't need to spend that many time cubes. I had it in the wrong spot. So she would be 1 down, and he's going to move 1 space away. Now, the Parhofer has become, or it is discovered to be glitched and moving according to its own agenda. Put its erratic response card in place. So the cards on the side of the board here have a regular side and an avoid side if they're in avoidance mode, but they also have an erratic version. So the Parhofer is bugged and is now having the erratic side out. And what that means is it does have an avoidance condition with light bulb or lightning bolt conditions to avoid. And then if it fails, it's going to scare you, and it's going to have default firewall, but it's going to pick up rocks and throw them at you. So that we know is what's going to happen with the Parhofer now. So the Parhofer is glitched, and now we put cards B3 and B4 into play. So B3 and B4, if we take a peek at those, we have behavior analysis and we have troubleshooting. So B3, the glitch machines behave erratically, but don't seem to act maliciously. Well, not right now anyway. And the more you study the machine's movements, the more it seems they are not random. It's like they're searching for something. Okay, so the glitch machine, when it's hacked or void test, we put a counter on this card. When there's 3 counters on this card, then something happens. The troubleshooting is when the Parhofer moves, ignore the direction arrow printed on the school cards. It's always going to move 1 or 2 arrows in the direction of the fire guard robot. If the fire guard and the Parhofer are adjacent at the end of the movement, put card B2 into play. Then we are going to check for conditions on the board for Enigma, which is this mystery dial here that we turn from 0 to 18, and Insight, which is our like success, basically, what we've learned, knowledge. That also goes from 0 to 18. And we are going to adjust those dials on the board depending on what conditions we have. And then cards B3 and B4 go into play, and then card B1 is discarded out. So we now have B3 and B4 in play to watch. Now, all right, so Veronica has 2 movements left. So she might want to spend one of her movements, or time cubes, to clear her conditions. So when you have the conditions, exhausted, upset, or scared, you can rest for a turn to relieve one condition, but only one time per round. You only get that once per turn. Injured, it's going to take 3 rounds to heal from an injury. There's 3 spaces there. So, and she has to spend at least 1 cube to get home for dinner at the end of the night. And she lives in Bjorkvik, which is way up here by the fire guard. So she can go there to go home. So I think what she would do is she'd probably spend 1 of her time cubes to clear her upset condition, because that keeps her from helping other people. She's so upset she won't even help anybody else. So she'll rest to clear 1 of those cubes, and then she will spend her last cube to go home. So that's only going to cost her 1 space, and she will lay down to signify that her turn is done and she is complete with her moves. Now, we haven't done anything with Stefan yet, so we could try to get over and hack the Parhoofer, perhaps, or at least to scout it and investigate, but there's some investigation tokens right next door, and we definitely want to be getting some of those. So the thing is that Stefan's house is just 1 space away at Morby, so we only have to spend 1 to get there from anywhere over here in this section. He's already right next door, so what would he do? I think he's going to go try to explore J. So he's going to spend 1 to move to J and 1 to scout. So we're going to flip J over, and we're going to flip over the J card. Now the J card is high schoolers. We shouldn't have taken that detour. Now they're already here. And we have to do a friendship test. That's what I'm calling it. I don't know what the symbols actually mean. I don't know if they're actually defined. There's the different symbols. Charming or dull, I guess. So it's a charming test. So we have brave, clever, charming, quick, tough. Okay, so that's charming. So it's cool. You can just talk to them. They're just older kids. They're not monsters or anything. Okay, it's not that complicated. So we can do that test. We will roll a standard 3. Now each of us has an iconic item that we start with. So for Veronica the Metalhead, it's a pocket knife, and that gives her strength. For Stefan the Jock, it's sneakers, and that gives him a little extra speed. So if the symbol matches the test that we're doing, the tag on it, we can use that to get another dice. Or again, if somebody is with us, another kid, they can help, so they can add another dice to the pool. But we're just going to roll 3 to try to talk to the older kids and see if they're cool or not. All right, so we're going to roll those dice. And we did not succeed. We got 2, 4, 5. We didn't get a 6. So we have a failure. So the older kids on the failure, they chase you off with whoops and laughs. You loser! So the jock becomes scared and cannot use strength, which is a bummer because that is his strong trait that he has. So he got scared off by the older kids. So that is a bummer. We did not succeed at that test. You want to, when you've got these 4 cards out here, you want to clear 1 or 2 every turn in general, I would say, because new ones are always going to come out, and when they slide off the end, it's going to increase your Enigma counter on the board. And once the Enigma hits a certain level, according to the scenario you're playing, you will trigger something, and same for the insight or the knowledge. So getting these revealed and accomplished is good as much as possible. Now we could go 1, 2. So I was just thinking we could also go up to Veronica's location, Bjorkvik, and there's a token there that we could explore. It's going to cost us 2 to move there, and then we only have 1 left to get back home. And we would not have enough if we explore that location. So, so yeah, we can't do that. 1, 2. It's a bummer. It's a big bummer. Because we don't really have enough to do anything with our 3 time cubes left here. Each kid starts with a chore card, and the chore has to be done in the first week by Friday. So if we go to the Davinso factory, we can spend a cube to place a counter on this, and if we have 2 or 3 counters on this card, we can get something happen. That's going to cost us 1, 2, 3 cubes just to get there on this turn, so we're not going to do that right now. But that's our chore, our assignment for the week. Veronica has to mow the lawn, so she has to spend 1 cube when at home to place counter on the card, and she has to do it 3 times to successfully get the lawn mowed by Friday. So you can resolve the chores at any time and get the bonus or the punishment for doing or not doing so at any time before Friday, but it's got to be done by end of your day Friday. All right, so it's a bummer. There's just really not much else we can do for Stefan's movement at this point, which is a bummer. Because 1, 2, it would take us 3 to get to the Powerhoofer. So we're here 1, 2, 3 locations to get next to the Powerhoofer, and that would take all our cubes. If we don't get home by the end of our day, we lose favor with our parents, and then so our favor track would decrease, and if it goes, it's only got 3 possible positions on it. If we're at the mad phase, we get grounded, and if we get grounded, we're losing 2 time cubes until the favor with our parents is resolved and fixed. So we're in a tough pickle here with this. So I think it's sad, but we're just gonna go home, okay? We're just gonna go home, and so be it. I mean, I guess I could try to solve this 1 more time before going home. So let's try that 1 more time. Spend our 3 dice to roll. Hey, we got a success. Okay, so on a success, they like you. They decide they do like you, the older kids, and they're gonna give you a clothes or makeup item. So what you do is you take the item deck, and there's a whole bunch of items in the deck here, and you look at the top, and it tells you what kinds they are, so we can get a clothes or a makeup. So we can get a makeup. We already have clothes. We have shoes. So I guess we can get makeup because there's only 1 or 2 of each. So we'll get makeup. And that might be useful later on. And that is eyeliner. Now you can combine items to create other things. So if you combine makeup with clothes, you can knock somebody out. If you combine makeup with loud, you can knock somebody out. If you combine makeup with sharp, you can produce chemicals. So you can do combos of items to create new things. Anyway, so we get a success. We're gonna move our dial up 1 on the insight wheel here, and we're gonna take this card and we're gonna discard it. It's done. So that leaves us 1 open space, and then Stefan will go home. And so that is the kids' adventure turn. So we're gonna check now, did the kids get home for dinner? In both cases, yes, so they stay in good favor with the parents. If they're injured, move the injured cube 1 condition to the right, because they're gonna start healing. Resolve any chores. We didn't we didn't accomplish any portion of our chores, and then check diary cards for end phase conditions. Now, we don't have any end phases yet. We're looking for 10s on the wheels or 3 cubes on this card. So we need to get things moving this next round here. So we got one rumor open, and so we go back to the school phase. So we start day 2. We move the counter up on the board on the weekly calendar to Tuesday, and these are going to stay there, but we're going to push these down to the right, and then when we draw the next school card is going to tell us how many new rumors are going to come out. And again, if we look at the card, it's going to tell us in the upper left corner. So we're going to do number of players minus 1. So 2 players minus 1 means 1 card is going to come out. We have 1 open spot. Perfect. So none are going to slide off the end and give us a punishment. Because normally when they slide off the end, you're going to lose 2 of the enigma, or you're going to gain 2 enigma, which are basically negative kind of points. So the bullies are at school, and I told you I'd get you after school. Try to fight or run from the bullies, and you can use a strength test, or you can use a speed test. Now, Veronica has speed, and Stefan has strength, so either one of them could do. And then the next card that comes out in the deck here is going to be the A card, and we want to go to A anyway because that's the Davinso factory, and that's where Stefan has to get to, so that's fine. Okay, so the bullies. Now, if we use Stefan, he gets 5. Veronica can help for 6, but she also has her pocket knife, which is strength, so we could roll 7 dice to get a success. Okay, we got to reset our time cubes back down to the bottom. Now, you remember Stefan got scared initially from the first encounter with the older kids. But anyway, we can do 7 dice. 5 for Stefan's tough, and 1 for Veronica helping, plus her pocket knife for 1 extra. So the bullies, we're gonna face them down. We're gonna get rid of them. 7 dice. We got 2 successes. Hey. All right, so success. We can relieve scared. And oh, guess what? Who's scared? Stefan. He was scared. So we get that time cube back. All right, then we look at the bottom left of the card, and there is a little firmware update symbol in the bottom left. So any robots that were wrecked or glitched, or excuse me, hacked, would get an over-the-air update and would reset. So that's not going to happen because none of them have that condition. They are going to move according to these blocks, though. So each robot has a different symbol on there. So this first symbol is for the Parhofer. The Parhofer is going to go 1 step to the left. So on the board, normally the Parhofer would go from here to here. But because of the story cards we have out, remember the Parhofer ignores the direction arrow. It'll instead move 1 or 2 for a double arrow, sectors closer to the fire guard. So 1 or 2 means here this is a 1, here this is a 2 segment arrow, and this is a 2 segment arrow. So over and up, down and over. This one is a 1. So the Parhofer moves 1, but it's going to move 1 towards the fire guard. So it's going to move up 1. Then the fire guard is going to move over and up to this no man's land over there, and the watchdogs are going to go down and over. Okay, so they've all moved. They're none next to each other, so there's no spreading of the glitch. If they're next to each other, they're going to all spread the virus and start glitching out, so that's no good. Anyway, so we successfully did the test of the school event, and the rumors came out, and we can check the machine actions. Now, any hack machines are reset if there's the firmware icons. We do the movement, and any machines that are next to a secure location would go into their alert state. So the watchdogs started in the alert state, but they are not alert, so they're going to flip back over to their normal side because they are not next to a secure location anymore, so they can step down a little bit. So they're next to a yellow, and they're next to yellow. So no robots are alerted. Okay, So we can go into the adventure phase on round 2. And the first player token moves over to Veronica. And we really, really want to get some stuff happening. So it would be great for Veronica to save a couple cubes to get home because there's a mystery there. Now the robots are touching both C and B locations because their grid intersects with B and C on the board. So the grid is here and B and C ovals both touch it. So anyone who comes in here is going to have to check for avoidance. Now this is on the bus line. Any of the red spots on the board are connected by bus stops. So we can take 1 time cube to move anywhere along the bus line. So I think both of us want to get to the northern section of town because Stefan wants to go to A, Veronica wants to go to H. So we're going to go to C. We're going to spend 1 time cube each to go to C. All right, so we both did that. And now we're both going to have to do an avoid check for the watchdogs. Now the watchdogs, we can use strength or clever, smarts to avoid them. So that's what it is to avoid the watchdogs. So we'll use Stefan's strength because he can get 5 and she can help for 1, 2. So actually we can roll 7 dice again to avoid, whoops, sorry. I'm just gonna throw a dice down on the floor. Notice my kids' canvas they made back there is kind of crooked. Yeah, that's a little better. Anyway, we're gonna roll 7 dice to try to avoid the watchdogs. Yeah, we got multiple successes. Okay, so we avoid the watchdogs, so nothing's gonna happen there. All right. You also have to also have to check the cards because they each can have different kind of conditions on them. So the watchdogs become alert when ending next to another machine. The power hoofer, when it becomes scouted or hacked, immediately puts up all of its firewalls, which would be 2, and the fire guard does slow reboots all the time. So that's something you just have to keep in mind as you're playing. I didn't go over all the rules here. I'm just playing and exploring the things as they come up. So you just get a feel for how the game works. All right, so into round 2. Now naturally, of course, once you play this with your group of friends, it's gonna go a lot faster. We won't have to talk everything out, but this is the sort of game that does encourage that since it is a co-op and it is more story driven. So so for Stefan to get up into the factory, it's gonna cost him 1, 2, 3 to get into a secure location. And then he's only gonna have 2 cubes left. So he could do 1 to investigate the mystery at A, but it's gonna cost him 2 to get back home. I think that's okay. I think he wants to get in there and really explore what that rumor is at the factory. It's too bad we don't have more time cubes because he needs to, for each cube you spend there, place a counter on this card for his chores. You can do it twice per round. Okay, so the success of that is, it says if you have 2 time cubes on their success, you can scout a rumor at or adjacent to the factory, or you found something and you get an anomaly card. If it's 0 to 1 by Friday, it fails. Okay, so that's fine. I think he's gonna push his luck and maybe not get home in time for dinner because he wants to figure out this strange ripples that were sighted at the factory in the water there. So he's gonna spend 1, 2, 3 to get into the secure location. So he gets past the guards into the secure location and he's gonna spend 2 time cubes to put onto the chore card. And for each time cube you spend there, place a counter on this card. So he's gonna spend 2, and we're gonna put 2 counters on the card. Max twice per round, okay? So we can do a scout for free, or we can get an anomaly card for free. I think what we're gonna do is, we don't have any other time cubes left. So, do we check the status on the card to scout the rumor? Or do we wait and try to get more cubes up there? I think we're gonna wait and try to get more cubes up there. I think that's what Stefan would do. He is super driven by this rumor about the weird ripples in the water that were cited there. So he is not going to be able to make it home for dinner, okay? So he's going to fall out of favor with the parents, but that's okay. He's only going to lose one favor with them. Hopefully, it doesn't come back to bite us. Veronica, she is going to try to maybe hack those robots, the watchdogs that are adjacent to her. If we can hack those, we might be able to get some stuff happening here. So she can use strength or clever to outsmart them. We already did that. So she can try to hack them. So she's gonna scout. So she'll spend 1 to scout the robots, the watchdogs. And to scout them, we're gonna pay 1 time cube, and we're gonna put 2 firewalls in place. So over here, this stack of tokens are the firewall cards. So I'm gonna randomly choose 2, and we'll put those up on the board here. And we've got a green, so sorry, you're not gonna be able to see that one. I'll put it on top of that one. We got a green lightning bolt on top and a yellow strength icon on top. The bottom would be if the robot is in alert mode, then the conditions to break through the firewall are tougher. So we're gonna put those 2 in place on the watchdog. Now the watchdog has 3 firewall locations, so we have put those down there, and now she can investigate to try to get past those firewalls. So she can do strength, which for her, since she has no buff or bonus in strength, she would get 3 dice, but her pocket knife gives her 1 strength. So she would get 4 dice to try to interact with the firewalls on the watchdogs there. And I think that's worth it, 4 dice. So let's see if she can, she's gonna investigate for 1 time cube, and she's gonna roll 4 dice for strength. Woo, big miss. Okay, she missed. So she did not get the hack done on the first firewall. So that's no good. So according to the summary here, sorry, you know what? Let me back up a second. Hacking is a group effort. She can't just bully in there by herself. So sorry, hang on. We're just gonna leave those there anyway. We'll use those next time. Okay, my mistake. I just barge ahead sometimes. We are not going to hack the robot with just 1 kid. We need 2. And how it works is the kids both have to contribute time cubes to hack the robot. Whoever contributes more will control the robot when it is hacked. Okay, so we do need more than 1 kid there to combine their knowledge and their efforts with the robots to try to hack them. So she's not going to hack them. What she is going to do, so she took the bus there for 1. She is going to, okay, she needs to spend time cubes at home. So she needs 2 cubes at least. So she has 3 cubes to spend on actions. Yeah, I think she could get into the secure area at Nordic Gobi at F. So she can move down into here. It's gonna cost her 2 time cubes. So she's gonna do that. She's gonna go into the secure area here at F, and she's gonna scout that for 1. She's gonna flip that over. And at F, we have got a machine find. We need to take this back home and analyze it. We need a strength test. The piece of machinery emits a low hum. It's small, but it's surprisingly heavy. So she just got her hands on a piece of electronic machine loot, and she wants to take it home. So she's gonna roll 3, 4 to try to put that in her pocket and get the heck out of there. So let's see if Veronica has any luck. Boom, she got it. Okay, so on a success, it lights up and it greets you with friendly beeps. Gain the machine mind anomaly. Okay, so we're gonna put that aside. We're gonna grab the anomaly deck. And like the item deck, there is a whole stack of cards here, and you specifically go through and you look for the machine mind. Oh, it's right on top. The machine mind anomaly. It's an interface type of card. It has 2 uses. May be used when scouting a machine to reveal all firewalls instead of just the first 2. Okay, so that's useful. So we can use that 2 times in the course of the game before it, wears out or breaks. So that's a nice find. Great. Now she has 2 cubes left. So unfortunately, she's got to spend that much to get out of a secure area to back to her house. It only costs 1 normally to go from any open location to your house. From a secure location, it costs 2. So she's got to spend her last 2 to go home. Unfortunately, she still cannot explore the anomaly at her house. So that is the end of the adventure phase. And now we do the cleanup phase. Did the kids get home for dinner? Veronica, yes. Stefan, no. So Stefan is going to go from happy with his parents to not so happy. Kind of a little bit irritated with him. So if he gets 1 more, he's going to get grounded. So we do not want Stefan to get grounded. That would not be helpful to us. It would really slow us down. All right, so that's done. Are there any other conditions? Let's see. No. We didn't hack anything. Glitch machine test did not fail. Nothing like that. Nothing's adjacent to each other. Okay, so nothing happens with that. The chores have not been resolved, unfortunately. So we go to day 3 on the board for Wednesday, and the kids go back to school. All right, so we're gonna slide down the remaining cards here. And hopefully we're gonna also draw one that only puts out 1 new one. But we're gonna draw a school card and then a new rumor card, or more, depending on what the school card says. So the school card is, there is a firmware, so any machines that would be hacked or wrecked would get over the air firmware update and would change their status. Local historian is at the school today. So we're gonna put out 2 - 1, so just 1 new card. So X gets a token on it, and X is a secure location, the Magnetrine docks. Okay, so we don't increase the Enigma because we're not pushing any cards off the end. We do get 1 more success from that last turn, so we increase the knowledge wheel. So you see, children, Mallerkransen was actually built during the 60s. A lot of Swedish names in here since it's a Swedish game. She might share some interesting information if you can impress her with your own knowledge. That is a charm test, or a clever, sorry. Stefan definitely does not have clever, okay? So Veronica can do that, and Stefan can do 1 for helping. We'll reset our time cubes. We get the full 6 for both this turn. We take this back to Stefan. Okay, so we're gonna roll 4 to try to impress the local historian. Veronica is rolling. She fails. So she's gonna spend 2 time cubes. She's just exhausted. So she must be a little bit of an introvert, the metalhead. And that just exhausts her trying to impress the historian for not much reason. Okay, but then we're gonna move the robots according to the card. Okay, so the Parhoofer would move 1 space west, but it's gonna move 1 space toward the fire guard. Remember, it's glitched. So it moves 1 space over. The fire guard is gonna move up and over to the right. It cannot do that. That space is not valid, so nothing happens. And the watchdogs are gonna move east and south. So they're gonna 1 and 1. And none of them are alerted. Well, we have to check these 2 over here. These 2 are adjacent to each other now. And what that means is we need to check their status. Do they become weird? No, but the Parhoofer, remember, is erratic because he's hacked. So when, let's see. if the power hoofer is adjacent to the fire guard, put card B2 into play. What happened to B2? There it is. Okay, so we need to put B2 into play. With the jolt, the fire guard stretches up, looks around, and then strides away. The fire guard is now glitched. Whenever a glitched machine is adjacent to a healthy machine at the start of the end phase, that machine also becomes glitched. In the end phase, add one enigma for every glitch machine adjacent to another glitch machine. So we have 3 cards in play now, B2, B3, and B4. And we have to go over here to the fire guard, and the fire guard is going to go into erratic mode, because the virus has spread between the bots. Okay, great. And the watchdogs just keep going closer over to them. So we are back at school. And then we go to the next day. Yeah, okay. When I'm doing these tutorials, or live streams, sorry, I sometimes don't know if I've skipped a turn or not, because, yeah, you know, it's a lot of stuff to keep track of as you're conveying information, as well as trying to play the game accurately. But let's see, make sure we're not missing anything on the cards here. We are not. Okay, so we go into the adventure phase. Now, Veronica had to spend 2, so she's only got 4 left, so she can spend 1, 2. She's gonna go home to explore in her neighborhood of Bjorkvik what's going on there. So she's gonna spend 1 bus ticket to go there. She's gonna have to avoid the watchdogs. They are touching both those locations, so she has to avoid them. And she needs to spend clever, so she needs to roll a 3. Yeah, so she needs to roll a 3 and get 1 success. She did not avoid. She did not outsmart the fire guard, or excuse me, the watchdogs. Oh, hang on, I rolled the wrong set of dice. I was supposed to roll 4 because she has a pocket knife. Wrong card, watchdogs, so she can use strength instead of clever. So she can get a +1. So she can do 4. We'll do that again. She got 2 successes there. Okay, great. So she avoided the watchdogs. So she's gonna go home for 1. And then she is going to, I think what she's gonna do is she wants to get some of her chores done. She doesn't have to spend any to get home because she's already home. So that means she has to spend 0 time cubes to get home. So she has 2 time cubes left. So she could scout the watchdog to try to figure out what its strengths and weaknesses are in terms of its defenses and firewalls. So you spend 1 to scout it, or she can do the rumor card at her house and then spend 1 at that. So I think she's gonna do that. So she's gonna just investigate this rumor at H. And that is new obstacles. Come on, let's climb. There's something I wanna show you. The fence is high and there's barbed wire at the top. Climbing it is a safety challenge. It's a strength test, so she could roll 4 there. So she's gonna roll 4 and try to succeed there. Whoops, drop the dice. And she failed. So it's higher than it looks, and the barbed wire is sharp. She actually became injured, so that's a bummer. So she is injured. So she's gonna take a -2 on all rolls, and then she cannot push her roll. We haven't talked about that yet. When you roll badly, you can take a condition like exhausted to push a roll and to re-roll it. So she failed that obstacle. She actually became injured. She can't push, and she takes a -2 on all rolls until she heals. But she is at home for dinner, so she's fine. Stefan, the jock. You spend 1, 2, 3, 4. See, but then he's not gonna be able to get home, which is bad. So I think he's gonna try to go up here and mess with the watchdogs because you can take 1 there and then can scout the machine. So 1 to move, 1 to scout the watchdogs. So the watchdogs, we're going to put those 2, we already drew those mistakenly last time. No, okay, yeah, you can scout, you just can't hack. Okay, so he scouted the watchdogs and knows that strength and speed. So he knows that when Veronica and he team up, that they're going to make a good combo for this particular robot. They're going to be able to hack it. So he did that. Then yeah, gosh, we really just need to get more stuff happening, and it's not, because it's all up there. So he could also try the obstacle test. He's got strength. He's strong. He could maybe get success where Veronica didn't. So, sorry, I did not roll the avoidance check for the watchdog. He would roll 5 because it's strength test, so he'd roll 5. Yeah, so he avoided them. Okay, so then he's going to roll, or he's going to spend a time cube to go to Veronica's location, and then is going to try to resolve H. He's going to roll a strength test, so he's going to roll 5, not 6, 5. And oh my God, these rolls. Also became injured, spends 1 to get home for dinner. All right, so getting home for dinner, what that means is when you get home for dinner, let me show you the card here. When you get home for dinner, move to your home and then add +1 to your favor. Okay, so he's going to increase favor with the parents for being on time. So that's good. So he's going to go back into good graces with the parents, but he's injured. Okay. And Veronica got injured. So that barbed wire fence was pretty atrocious. So now, end phase. Did kids get home for dinner? Yes, they both did. Move the injured condition 1 step to the right for both of them. We have done so. Resolve any chores. Not yet. We still have 1 more day to get that done. And check diary cards for end phase conditions. Now, we do have 2 robots next to each other at the end phase. So we have to check the cards here. So let's see what they say. This is for glitched or hacking or avoid glitch machines. Okay, we haven't done that specifically. Okay, so the watchdogs are not glitched. That doesn't go into effect. But the troubleshooting card, if okay. Oh, sorry. Yep, we did that one. B2 is if add 1 enigma for every glitch machine adjacent to another glitch machine. So we have 2 glitch machines next to each other. So we're going to add 2 to the enigma wheel up here on the rotary counters. So we're going to add 2 there, and that's a bummer. All right, so that's the end of that round. And we're going to move to Friday and reset our time cubes. Now they're only going to have 5 each because they both got injured on that barbed wire fence. That's a bummer. So let's get them to school, excuse me, and draw a new card. We add 1, excuse me, 2 minus 1, 2 players minus 1 for public speaking. So we have public speaking. Only the kid who's turning it is going to test this one. So just Stefan. Next up, Axel will tell us about Burger Jarl. Go ahead, Axel. Do your best to speak in front of the class. It's a heart. We don't have any pros or cons for hearts for Stefan, so it's just going to be a 3 roll. And we're going to take out 1 card. So along the 4 cards here, the one at the end is going to slide off. So we're going to lose 2 more Enigma for that. So I'm going to set that counter. That's at 4 now. E goes away. So E token comes back to us, and it's going to go to I, which is way over here. And I don't know how the heck you're supposed to get there. That's a bummer. You can hack the machines to give you a ride. So that could be a way to get to that far location. Okay, so we've got the cards out. Now, Stefan has to roll a 3 to do public speaking. He's a jock, so I imagine he's not super eloquent. Hey, he pulls it off with his tough guy shtick. So, you make your parents proud, gain a favor. All right, good. That was good. He was already at favor because he got home for dinner last night, but that would have been nice to have last turn. Anyway, then we got to check the machine movements. So the Parhofer is going to go left. The watchdogs aren't going to go anywhere, the fire guard isn't going to go anywhere, and the watchdog is going to go down and to the left. So basically at D5 on the board. If we had the 4th robot type in there, it would move up and to the right, or left, sorry. I can't do my directions today. So again, the Parhofer is always going to go towards the fire guard. It is already adjacent to the fire guard, so I think he just doesn't move, because if we followed this movement on the card here, he would actually move 1 grid over, and then he would be diagonal. Diagonal is not adjacent. Only orthogonal up, down, left, right is adjacent. So diagonals don't count. All right, so that is the school test and the school event and the robot moves. So we are back to Friday morning. We got through school. We have to finish our chores today. I don't think Veronica is going to get her lawn mowed today. Not going to happen. She's a slacker. She needs 3 time cubes on there, 3 counters on there. So she can only do that once per. Oh no, it can be done more than once per turn. So she could pull this off by the end of the day. Nothing like a deadline to get you going. So maybe she could pull that off. They did talk about the watchdog, since Stefan did get a good look at it, and they know that they can hack it with machine, or with strength and with speed, quickness. So they might try. Now, there's going to be a 3rd firewall there, so I think they need to do that, though. We need to hack a machine. So we could spend 1 to get there, then they could hack it, and then she could get home and get the lawn mowed. And then he could try to get up to the factory. Okay, I think that's what they're both going to do. So they're going to take the bus to G. It is adjacent, it is intersecting the sector of the board where the watchdog is. So they're going to have to do an avoid. Now they can do strength +2 because she can help, and she can add +1 from her pocket knife. So they're going to try to avoid the watchdog so that they can hack it. So it's not going to like react negatively or run away from them. Yep, we got 2 successes. So we've avoided, not a problem. So we could use Veronica's machine mine, maybe used when scouting to reveal all firewalls instead of just 2. I think we'll do that, because that's not going to cost us a cube, I don't believe. So we're going to put a cube on there to reveal the 3rd firewall, and we have got a default firewall in the 3rd position. So what we are going to do is look on the card to see what the default firewall is. And so in the 3rd position down here, it usually will tell you. I'll put that on the overhead for you. So the default firewall in this case is a Brave action, and it's a tamper alarm, automatic effect. Move the closest machine 1 sector towards the watchdogs. So it's gonna call another robot nearby because of a tamper alarm. So that's automatically going to happen, apparently, if we don't disable it. Okay, so we have 3 tests. We have strength, speed, and default, which is heart, which none of us are good at, but strength is first, so we can roll 7, because 5, oh, we have to choose how many time cubes we're committing. So let's have Stefan do 3, and Veronica will spend 2. Oh, sorry, they both spent 1 on the bus ride up there. So she's gonna spend 2, and we need to spend 3 at least because there's 3 firewalls up on the board here. So we need to spend, there's 3 firewalls, we need to spend at least 3 time cubes, but somebody has to spend more. So Stefan will do 3. Veronica will do 1, okay? So Stefan is gonna control the machine if it gets hacked. So let's do the strength roll for 7 dice. Yep, no problem. We have hacked the first firewall, so we'll take a hack token, which is just a little robot disk. And we'll put that on the first firewall, and we have completed that. So now we're going to the second one, which is speed or quickness. Veronica has 5. Stefan can help, and he's got sneakers. So his iconic item is sneakers, which is a quickness or speed icon. So we can get 7 again on that one. So this is great. This is great. Definitely a good team for this robot. Okay, we got it. So we have hacked the second firewall. Now, the third firewall is the default firewall with heart. Veronica's not good at heart. She's skittish. She's not brave. So she would only get 2. So Stefan's going to do it for 3, and Veronica can help for 1. So we're going to roll 4 for this third and last firewall. Now, the power hoofer is going to move 1 square closer to the watchdog. So the power hoofer has come at its warning call, but let's see if we can get this firewall broken. Oof, that is a fail. So, when you fail a firewall, the hack is aborted and all participants suffer the consequences as if having failed an avoid test. Okay, then make the machine alert if it's not already. So the machine has become alerted to the hacking attempt because we triggered the firewall unsuccessfully. And the avoid is that the closest robot is going to, no, it's going to move, sorry, let me read this card right. Backup call, move the closest fire guard or the other robot we're not using to an adjacent nearby sector, make it an alert and immediately try to avoid it. Okay, this is bad. So the fire guard is going to come running over here at great speed and become alert, and it's already glitched to start with, so this isn't good for us. This is bad. So the fire guard comes in, and it's become alert. We have to outsmart it with brains. Stefan's not strong point, but we can do 4. We can do 4. So we're gonna roll 4 dice and try to avoid the alerted fire guard robot. Come on, success, we need a 6. Yes, we got it. Okay, so we avoided. All right, that's good. Okay, so no problems, we can get the hell out of there. So Stefan is gonna go home and end his turn. Veronica, is gonna go home. She has to avoid the power hoofer. She can use her speed though, which is 5, so that's good. So she's gonna maybe hide in the woods, you know, sneakily sneak past the power hoofer to get home. Oof, she fails. Oh my God. Okay, she becomes scared. We just lost one of our cubes. And she was gonna spend her multiple cubes to mow the lawn to get it done by the end of the day. She's only got 1 left. So she will spend the 1, she's already at home, just put a cube on there, just for giggles here, because that's the end of the round. All right, so, and end of the phase, I should say. Now, end of Friday, the chores have to be done tonight. Okay, so did the kids get home for dinner? They both got home for dinner. So their favor goes up or stays up at maximum. Okay. Move the injured condition 1 step to the right. Okay. Oh, shoot. You know what? We were supposed to take -2 on all rolls. Okay, I played that wrong. My bad. If you're injured, -2 on your rolls. Okay. So yeah, our rolls would not have been as good perhaps. Resolve chores. Okay, let's do that. So Veronica mowing the lawn. So if she has 3 cubes on 3 counters on this card, she can get 2 counters to use for favor. So she would get 5 favor steps instead of 3, basically. But she failed. Her parents chew her out and she gets grounded. Put 2 counters by the favor track. Wait, put 2 counters by the favor track. You must discard these instead of raising favor. Oh, okay. So she becomes grounded and she can't raise her favor up here because she's got 2 extra counters that are gonna go first. Anytime she raises favor, she has to discard one of those counters. So that's how that's gonna work for her. Her chore's done. Now, the Davin monster for Stefan is, if you have 2 or more, you have a success. So 2, scout 1 rumor at or adjacent to the Davinso factory. So there is one at the Davinso factory. So we're gonna scout that, and that one is up here. So we'll flip that over. That is A, and A is Hotel Ackerfeld. He's weird, but the good kind of weird. Also, he has biscuits and hot chocolate. It's a bit of a struggle to get over to Alex Ackerfeld's little cottage, but well worth it. It's a strength test, so that's good. And then we might get some bonuses there. So that chore is a success. We were able to scout and we have no penalties to take. Okay, now we have to look at the state of the board because we gotta look at these machine cards here. So we have a glitch machine next to an unglitched machine. So now the watchdogs have become infected as well. All the machines are infected and it's alert and the fire guard is alert. So we have 2 machines next to each other. We're gonna add 2 more Enigma onto the board there. So we're up at 6. Once we hit 10, something's gonna happen, according to these cards. Did we fail a hacking or a glitch test? Yes, we did. We did fail, so we're putting a counter on this card because we failed to hack the watchdogs. We only hacked 2 of the firewalls, not 3. So the watchdogs, we didn't get through them. So that was a fail. So we're putting a cube onto card B3. When there are 3 counters on this card, something is gonna happen. Yeah, okay. So now we go into the weekend, which is the last phase, or last turn of the week. The kids do not have to go to school. We're still gonna draw a school card to see how the robots move, but there's no school event that's gonna happen. So let's do that. We are gonna bring out 1 new card. So we're gonna lose H, which is the one at her house. That one goes away, we lose 2 more. So we're at 8 on the Enigma track, and we are gonna add K, which is right here. So that's close by, that's easy. Now, what's cool about the weekend phase is since it's 2 days long, both kids are gonna get 3 extra time cubes. So they get 3 extra time cubes to spend. Veronica really needs those since she is grounded and scared and injured. Now, the kids are, they both have, sorry, my phone is beeping away. Let me move that somewhere else. There we go. The kids, we move the condition 1 step to the right. So injured, when moved from the last square, it's placed in the action space of the character board. The rest action can also move the time cube 1 step, speeding up the recovery. If the kid takes another injured condition, of course, it gets moved to the leftmost square. So we can use a rest to clear the injured condition on our kids. Veronica's grounded for not doing her chores, as you know, you could expect to be the case when you don't mow the lawn. Neighbors are gonna complain, your parents are gonna complain, they're gonna chew you out, you're gonna get in trouble. Okay, so let's say we're gonna spend 1 to rest and clear the injured condition. Spend 1 to rest, clear the injured condition. Okay, so Veronica, she can't do a heck of a lot. Stefan's got a bunch of stuff that he can do. So maybe he would want to go up to Veronica's and help her hack the machines, or get to the Davinso factory and talk to the dude up there, the weird dude that lives in the cottage. Maybe that's what he would want to do, but that's going to cost him 1, 2, 3, 4 cubes, leaving him with 3 more. Yeah, we're going to do that. I'm going to spend 1, take the bus, 2, 3, actually we need to spend 5 there. Okay, then he's going to investigate, so he's going to do strength, which is 5, and yep, he gets it. So we, Axel treats you to hot chocolate and tells you some stories, get a free rest action. Sweet. Okay, so I'm just going to take that rest cube I used and put it back into play. We get a +1 on our insight for successfully clearing a rumor. And he has 2, which is just enough to get back home if he wants to stay in good graces. He maybe doesn't want to get home because he knows something's going on at the docks over there. So it's just right next door. Once you're in a secure area, it only costs 1 to move to another one. He's got 2 cubes left, so he's gonna go 1 to move there, and then he's going to investigate that rumor, whatever it is, he doesn't know. He's gonna blindly go for it. Strange cabling. Okay, so the cables lead into the dark and overgrown building. How nice. It's a strength, or it's a bravery test. The door creaks ominously. Doesn't seem to be any power for the lights. If you dare push forward, perhaps you can find where those cables go. So he's just gonna roll a standard 3 roll on there to try to do the bravery test. I mean, he's a big dumb jack, so he's exuding bravery, he thinks. So he's gonna try to find where these cables go on a roll of 3 for strength, or excuse me, for bravery. Come on, Stefan, you big dumb jack. No, he doesn't make it. So there's a sudden flash and a mechanical shriek. You run! Become scared. All right, so that means he cannot use his strength in the future. He cannot get home, so he's gonna lose favor. So I'm just gonna go ahead and move that down. He goes home. He's in trouble. Actually, he doesn't go home. He just gets in trouble. Okay, then Veronica, she can't hack anything alone. So the bummer is that she can't do much at all. She's only got 4 time cubes left. She can scout, she can use the machine mine interface. So her machine mine anomaly card she got, she can use it 1 more time to scout a machine and reveal all its firewalls. So she's gonna scout the Parhoofer, get 2 firewalls out for the Parhoofer, and we have a bravery, which she's not, she's skittish, and we have an alert. So the alert means that we have to use the bottom part of the firewall test to try to get them. All right, so that's what we've got for the Parhoofer. So that was a cube for her. Or no, she spent that on her card. So that card is done. So we're gonna take that out of play. So she used it twice, it's done. Put that up there, clear the cubes. So she's still got 4. She's grounded though, so she can't do a lot. So when you're grounded, Let me read that to you so I am telling you the right condition for the kids. I think it was in a sidebar. Grounded. Okay. Grounded. Then the favor is reduced to, when favor is reduced to mad status, the kid, sorry, wrong camera on there. The kid is immediately grounded. Move 2 time cubes from the pool to the 2 grounded slot with house icons on the character board. They remain locked until the kid's favor either reaches meh or happy. If there's not enough in the pool, use them from the action space. Do not remove any time cubes locked by conditions. So she has to get home in time for dinner to get grounded. Unfortunately, the bummer with Veronica is that she got these 2 extra favor markers that she has to clear first before anything else can happen. So that's not great. So she can't really get anywhere and do much because of being grounded. I just want to check this card again because it said, chewed out, become grounded. Put 2 counters by the favor track. You must discard these instead of raising favor on a 1 per step basis. So basically, yeah, that's a pretty harsh grounding condition. She's got to really work extra hard to clear that state. And there's no good way for her to do that. So if she stays at home and doesn't spend any cubes, she has 4. She could do 1 rest to clear 1 condition. That leaves her with 3. She could... She can't really get anywhere that she can do anything because everything around her is cleared. She can't hack because it's a group effort on the kid's part. So she's just in this limbo spot, which is really rough, really rough. Yeah, that is a bummer. That is a bummer. Well, anyway. So what's going to happen is nothing. Nothing's going to happen. She's going to get home. She's going to clear a cube. She is at home. She could move 1. She could scout the fire guard for 2 firewalls. It's alerted, so it's going to take double. Sorry, let me show you those on the overhead so you can see. It's going to take... have to do the bottoms, so it's going to take a strength and a clever, or whatever that is. Sorry, what is it? Charming. It's going to take strength and charming plus brave and strength. So 4 tests to pass to get in through the alerted fire guard, since he's alerted. But anyway, she did that, and then she can move back home, and she's home. She cleared a cube. Okay. So that's how the weekend phase would work with the 3 extra cubes, and then at the end of the turn, just remember to take those out and reset everything for the next week. On the first day of the week, you're going to take a new chore card for each kid. They have to resolve them then by Thursday because on the second week, chores are due Thursday. And then, of course, you get a weekend at the end of the week again. But 1 more card would go off. We'd be at 10. And then one of these story cards would flip over and something would happen. In this case, it would be when Enigma reaches 10, put B5 card into play. So we would take B5 and something would happen there, and then we can spend some of our insight that we earn to do something else at a certain location with B5. So we would reveal the story. There would be 2 more cards after that. So you can see that this scenario would play out in about 2 weeks. I do like this game. I like the collaborative storytelling nature of it. It doesn't seem like it necessarily would suffer from too much of the alpha player taking over everything. Of course, I could be really wrong. I am not that type of player in co-op games. I'm not the one who is king boss and you know, barking out commands to everybody, but you definitely are going to have conversations here. The different items and anomalies, you can swap them back and forth. You can combine them to make things happen, so that is something that could occur. So yeah, so that's how the game basically works, and hope you enjoyed it. I like the aesthetics of the game. The design is good. The components are all nice. I did back this on Kickstarter, which is where I got it from. So that is where this came from. I don't know when this is shipping to stores, but should be soon. And I would recommend this. I think this is a really great story-driven co-op game that should be good for all ages. I mean, this is teens in this world that you're playing, so I think, you know, 8, 9, 10-year-olds could play this game probably, and mine would love this game. You know, and if you haven't already, go look up Simon Stalenhag's artwork that this was inspired from, and maybe watch the show Tales from the Loop. I don't remember which streaming platform it's on, but it's a very stylistic show. It's not like a typical show. It's a much more subdued, quiet aesthetic. So if you like the strange 80s kind of stuff, not as disturbingly like weird gross as Stranger Things, but definitely weird mysterious, weird science stuff going on, weird anomalies, go check it out. I like the show. My kids thought it was too slow and they thought it was a little sad. This game is not that same vibe. The show is sadder than the game or the role-playing game is. But check those out. I think you'll like it. I think it's a good addition to the co-op collection of games available out there. And I'm looking forward to getting some friends over to play this, so it's not just me playing multiple roles. And I do think having more than two makes it hard. 3, 4, or 5, I'm sure is a better experience. But I think this is about a 2-hour game, so keep that in mind. That different scenarios are going to have different timers on them, though, so maybe not all of them. There's a bunch of different scenarios in the box, and how you play them out is it's up to you. You make the decisions in this game like a role-playing game. So that's it. I'm going to stop the stream now. Thank you for checking this one out, and let me know what you thought in the comments. I would love to hear your ideas, and if you have played this, let me know what you think. All right, that's all for now. See you later. Bye-bye.